Once upon a time, a king's key advisor was en route to a gathering with the monarch and more advisors. He caught a glimpse of a dead mouse by the side of the road. He addressed those in his company. An ambitious young man could make a fortune even from as humble beginnings as this dead mouse. With enough intelligence and hard effort, he might launch a business and provide for his wife and family. A bystander heard what was said. He chose to heed the advice of this renowned advisor to the king, as he was aware of it. Taking the dead mouse by its tail, he carried it off. By chance, a shopkeeper stopped him before he had gone more than a block. He said, "I've been bothered by my cat all morning. You get 2 copper coins from me for that mouse." That was completed. He purchased some sweet cakes with the 2 copper coins and sat by the side of the road with them and some water. Some of the folks who had collected flowers to make garlands were coming back from work as he had anticipated. They decided to exchange a bunch of flowers for delicious cakes and water, as they were all hungry and thirsty. The man sold flowers in the city in the evening. He returned the following day to sell the delicious cakes he had purchased with some of the money to the flower pickers. This continued for a while, until one day there was a horrible storm that brought strong winds and heavy rain. He noticed numerous branches that were scattered around after they were blown off the trees while strolling through the king's pleasure garden. In order to get the king's gardener to keep the branches, he made an offer to sweep everything away for him. The indolent gardener consented in a hurry. Across the street in a park, the man discovered some kids having fun. For the price of a single delicious cake for every youngster, they were happy to gather all the branches and brush at the pleasure garden entrance. The king's potter appeared, constantly searching for fuel for his glazing oven. He gave the man a good price for the wood. After noticing the heaps the kids had just gathered, he also included some of his pots in the deal. The man established a refreshment business with the money he made from selling the firewood and flowers. On their way into town, all the neighborhood lawn mowers dropped by his store one day. He offered them complimentary drinks and tasty desserts. Startled by his kindness, they inquired, "What can we do for you?" He informed them that there was nothing they could do at this time, but he would update them later. He heard that a horse salesman was arriving in the city with 500 horses to sell a week later. Thus he made contact with the lawn mowers and instructed each one to bring him a bale of grass. He instructed them to hold off on selling the horse merchant any more grass until he had sold his. He was able to get a great deal in this way. After some time had passed, some customers in his refreshment business informed him that a brand new ship from a distant nation had just anchored in the port. He believed that this was the chance he had been waiting for. He continued to ponder until he produced a strong business plan. Initially, he visited a buddy who was a jeweler and made a small payment for an extremely pricey gold ring that contained a stunning red ruby. He was aware that the foreign ship was originating from a nation devoid of rubies, where gold was also highly valued. As a deposit for his commission, he gave the ship's captain the magnificent ring. The captain consented to refer all of his passengers to him in order to receive this commission as a broker. The top stores in the city would then be shown to them by him. The individual then persuaded the retailers to give him a commission in exchange for referring clients to them. By serving as a middleman, the man amassed great wealth after multiple ships anchored. Satisfied with his accomplishment, he also recalled that the king's wise advisor's remarks had been the catalyst for everything, so he made the decision to present him with 100,000 gold coins. This amounted to half his total wealth. He met with the king's advisor and presented the gift and his sincere gratitude after making the necessary preparations. "How did you earn so much wealth to afford such a generous gift?" the advisor questioned, looking on in amazement. The man informed him that it all began not too long ago with the advisor's own comments. He found himself in the company of a dead mouse, a ravenous cat, delectable cakes, bouquets of flowers, storm-damaged tree limbs, kids playing in the park, the king's potter, a snack store grass for 500 horses, a golden ruby ring, a network of good business associates, and much more. After hearing all, the royal advisor mused to himself, "It would not be good to lose such a dynamic man's talents. Along with my cherished only daughter, I am also extremely wealthy. This man deserves to marry her because he's unmarried. Then my daughter will be well taken care of, and he can inherit both my fortune and his own." All this came to occur, and the person who had heeded the excellent counsel of the wise advisor became the wealthiest man in the city following his passing. He received an appointment as an advisor from the king. He gave liberally of his remaining years to ensure the happiness and welfare of countless numbers of others.